My parents handed my brother $120,000 for a house while calling me the family. Failure. I cut them off and built everything myself. 2 years later, my brother drove by my estate. I was 24 when I realized my family's love came with a price tag, and I couldn't afford it. My older brother, Mark, was the golden boy. He did everything by the book. He went to the right college, got the safe corporate job, and married his high school sweetheart. I was the rebel. I skipped a degree to build my own logistics company from a beat-up laptop in my cramped, leaking apartment. The breaking point happened at Sunday dinner. My parents proudly handed Mark an envelope. Inside was a cashier's check for $120,000. It was a massive down payment for his dream house in the suburbs. I didn't even ask for a handout. I just asked if they could co-sign a tiny $15,000 business loan so I could buy my first commercial delivery truck. My dad laughed, a cold, dismissive chuckle that still rings in my ears today. "We invest in sure things, son," he said, cutting into his steak without even looking at me. "Mark has a future. You're playing delivery boy. You've become the family failure, and we aren't throwing good money after bad." My mom didn't flinch. "Your father is right. It's time to give up this little fantasy and grow up." I didn't yell. I didn't flip a table. I didn't cry. I just stood up, placed my cloth napkin on the chair, and walked out the front door. I blocked their numbers before my car even left their driveway. I cut them off completely. No holidays, no texts, just absolute suffocating silence. The anger became my fuel. It was a cold, quiet rage that woke me up at 4 a.m. and kept me working until midnight. I lived on cheap ramen and black coffee. I didn't take a single day off for 24 agonizing months. While they were busy picking out custom curtains for Mark's subsidized house, I was securing massive regional shipping contracts. My fleet grew from one leased rusted van to 50 brand new trucks. Then, a massive national carrier bought a minority stake in my company for mid-8 figures. I was 26, completely self-made, and a multi-millionaire. I bought 40 acres on the wealthy edge of town and built a custom architectural estate. Floor-to-ceiling glass, a massive detached garage, and a quarter-mile private driveway secured by heavy iron gates. I knew my family still lived in the same county, but our worlds never collided. Until last Tuesday, I was down at the end of my driveway checking the mail, wearing a faded t-shirt and work boots. A sputtering sedan slowed down as it passed my property line. It reversed. The window rolled down. It was Mark. He looked terrible. He had gained significant weight. His hairline was receding, and the bags under his eyes were dark purple. He stared at me, then looked past my shoulder at the sprawling estate, the manicured grounds, and the matte black Porsche parked near the entrance. His jaw practically unhinged. Is this where you work?" he asked, clearly assuming I was the landscaper. I looked him dead in the eye. "No, it's where I live." The silence that followed was deafening. I could literally see the gears turning in his head, the absolute shock registering on his pale face. "Mom and Dad said you went bankrupt," he stammered. "They said you disappeared because you were ashamed of failing." "I disappeared because you were all holding me back," I replied smoothly. He turned his engine off. The desperation in his voice spiked. "Man, I've been trying to find you," Mark said, rubbing the back of his neck nervously. "Things are bad. I got laid off a year ago. The property taxes on the house are drowning us. Mom and Dad tapped out their entire retirement to help me, but we're about to face foreclosure. I need a loan." He looked at the Porsche. He looked at the gates. "You're obviously doing incredible," he pleaded, his voice cracking. "We're family. Please, just 50 grand to get us above water. Mom cries about you." I felt nothing. No pity, no anger, just a chilling, absolute emptiness. "I'd love to help, Mark," I said, leaning casually against the brick pillar of my mailbox. His tired eyes lit up with massive hope. "Really?" "Yeah," I replied, my voice dropping to a dead, emotionless flatline. "But unfortunately, I only invest in sure things. I don't throw good money after bad." The color drained from his face completely. He opened his mouth to speak, but no words came out. I turned my back on him. I punched the code into the keypad. The heavy iron gates began to slowly swing shut between us. "Hey, you can't just leave me here!" he yelled, finally finding his voice, panic setting in. "Goodbye, Mark," I said, walking up the long, beautiful driveway I built all by myself. I didn't look back once, not when he laid on his horn and not when he finally drove away.